Welcome back to another video, investors. Today I'm looking at Moderna, MRNA. Before we get into the chart, we're just going to talk a couple technicals here. Moderna, they have been around since 2010. They IPO'd 2 years ago, and they're worth $35 billion. They've been in the news this year, obviously, because they're developing a vaccine, just like Pfizer, AstraZeneca, BioNTech. And the question for most investors is, are markets already pricing in the vaccine? And what's the timeline for that vaccine to actually be out, doses in patients' hands? There was an announcement just on Friday by, I'm not going to try and pronounce this gentleman's name, but he is the top scientist involved in the U.S. government's vaccine initiative. And he said that he believes 20 million Americans could receive a coronavirus vaccine in December, and that more could be immunized each month after that, assuming a successful trial and a speedy clearance by U.S. regulators for one or both of these vaccines. So he seems very optimistic. We don't know why. We don't have data from Pfizer, and we don't have data from Moderna on their latest trials. All reports suggest these vaccines are highly effective, but the timeline for approval, it can take a long time, and that's really the X factor here. So let's go back to the chart, and let's try and figure out if the revenue from these vaccines is already priced in, or not, and if it is, how much? Maybe so, probably. So, I've got a lot of lines here, and you guys can probably interpret those fairly easily. This is my Corona Recovery channel. This is the recent downtrend, and this is the recent uptrend, which just broke that downtrend. But what I really want to talk about on this chart is earnings reports. The first one that we had this year was or this would have been the second, in May. They estimated negative 36.8 cents per share. In actuality, it was about negative 35 cents per share. So they beat the earnings, but not by much, and still, a negative earnings report. It's not a bullish sign. What did the stock do? It jumped from 48 points to 93, 35 points. So when you have a less than stellar earnings report and you see a jump like that, I just don't think it agrees. It doesn't align with the facts that we have. That's irrational behavior. Let's look at the next earnings report. So we've had a huge breakout up to all-time highs, and we're experiencing a little bit of pullback and consolidation. What was the company doing during that time period? They estimated, again, negative 36 cents per share. In actuality, negative 31 cents. So, again, they beat the estimate, but it's still a negative earnings report. It's not really good news, not terrible news. What did the stock do? It just kind of ignored it. It continued on its downtrend that it was on here. It had no impact whatsoever, right? And the most recent one, the worst one of the year, actually, they estimated a negative 42 cents per share. In actuality, it was negative 59 cents per share. So their worst earnings report of the year. And what did the stock do in response? It bounced off of 66, and over the next 2 weeks has climbed up to 90 again. So again, it is irrational behavior. It's counter to the information we have, which is that Moderna has been losing money, and they've been losing more. They lost more money last quarter than they lost the quarter before that, or the quarter before that, guys. So in actuality, we should be looking at a chart that's probably been on a downtrend all this time. So to the question of, are vaccine revenues priced in already? Absolutely. Absolutely. Moderna, the company itself, has done nothing but spend money this year, right? Now they're developing a vaccine, of course. But the stock is up 365%. Guys, they haven't generated any revenue. So yes, obviously it's priced in. How much? That's difficult to say. But they're not the only company developing a vaccine. They're in partnership. They're worth $35 billion right now. I mean, do you think that's going to 10 times to 350 billion? I don't think so. So could it do half that? I don't know. Maybe. But I mean, when you're looking at a stock like this, that is, earnings have been on a downtrend, and the stock is up almost 400%. I think for me, I'm saying yes, future revenue is obviously priced in, and it's future revenue that frankly they don't even know that they're going to get, right? There's a lot of assumptions going towards it getting approved, it being the best one, and then doing worldwide sales at hundreds of millions in volume. There's a lot of other people developing vaccines. This is going to be a competitive market. Who's first to approval is going to be massive. So there's no guarantees here, and there's a heck of a lot of revenue priced in. So for me, I'm avoiding it. And when I see a chart like this with so much volatility, with clear signs of irrational behavior, that just there's we've got some pretty lines on here, but it's technical trends on this chart. It's hard to find them, guys. There are trends, but if you look for the technical backing, if you're trying to find an explanation for it in Moderna's financials, you're not going to find it, because it's optimism based on future revenue that is by no means guaranteed. So I think Moderna, along with a lot of these other vaccine stocks, is counting their chickens before they hatch. But if you're looking at the chart just in the short term, it's certainly bullish. We've broken this downtrend, and we are back above this support line here at $87. So we had hit this all-time high back in July, been on a downtrend ever since, and we broke it, even tested and confirmed the break, and now I've broken out above this support. So for all my negativity, the chart right now is bullish on Moderna. So that's my 2 cents, guys. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you have any questions or comments, comment below. I'd love to know what you guys think about Moderna. Tell me how wrong I am. I read all the comments, so I'll certainly respond. And if you want to see other videos like this one, subscribe. Thanks, guys, and have a great day.